Okay, there's Warren.
Okay,
Okay, do you want to do the roll call? See,
I will do the roll call, Mrs. Santos. So we have Mrs. Santos,
yes.
Mrs. Hers,
Yes.
Mr. Sales,
Here.
Mr. Wunsch,
Yes.
Mrs. Zampano. I believe she's participating via your phone. Okay, we have Mrs. Johnson Dingle,
Present.
Mr. Taylor, Mrs. Kelsey,
Present.
and we have Miss Wilson.
Hi, here.
Okay,
Hi, Mary Ann, it's Mike. You're participating. Okay,
Are we
Mary?
on a different screen so we can see everybody?
Okay, we have a, yeah, I don't see everybody,
Last
but
time we had this larger screen.
there we go.
Thank you.
And we have Mr. Flynn. And Mr. Flynn, we have Mrs. Zampano on phone, correct?
Mrs. Zampano just joined us on phone.
Thank you. That completes roll
okay,
call.
we don't, visitors, acknowledge any visitors. We don't have any visitors. And now I will entertain a motion to approve minutes of the regular meeting, April 7th, 2020.
So moved.
Second.
Move to second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, now we have a program.
Okay,
Mr. Flynn, our program.
thank you, Mrs. Santos. I'd like to welcome any members of the public that are joining us now. I'd like to introduce myself. I'm Michael Flynn. I'm the Chief Operating Officer of Western Suffolk BOCES. During the public portion of tonight's board meeting, we have a very special event. We get to honor 12 outstanding students from the different divisions operated by Western Suffolk BOCES. And we hope those students and their families are joining us tonight to recognize these students. So welcome to the public again. And I'd like to, at this point, introduce our district superintendent, Angelique Johnson Dingle, who's going to make a report.
Hi.
Thank you. Hello.
Thank you. Thank you and good evening to everyone. The first item that I would like to share with all of you, and please forgive me if you see me look down, I'm just reading through some notes. You all should have received our regional public school enrollment report that we provide every single year to the field. Every year the people in this department work extremely hard to be able to put this report into place and to gather as much data as possible. In taking a look at the report, essentially they are basically saying between years 2013 and 2019, there has been an overall decline in school enrollment in our 18 component districts. We started out in 2013 with 84,596 students. And at the school year ending 2019, we were at 76,873 students. That works out to be just over a 9% decline in our enrollment. And unfortunately, they're projecting that we will continue to see declines. Some of the reasons for the decline is that people are waiting to have children. And we also have larger 12th grade classes that are graduating and they are being replaced by smaller kindergarten grades. We have seen that a couple of our districts have seen an increase in their enrollment, while there are about 5 that have been pretty stable, with everyone else essentially being on the decline. Smithtown still remains our largest district as far as enrollment, with just over 8,300 students, while Babylon is still our smallest district with just over 1,500 students. The planning department is the only, we are the only BOCES that does have this COSA approved to deliver the services. And we assist districts all across the state of New York. in taking a look at enrollment and projections and also assisting them with facilities, mainly looking at should they either open a school or close a school or with help to reconfigure their grades. I would just like to publicly thank the school manager that oversees this department, Ms. Barbara Graziano, and her entire team for doing such a wonderful job in providing this support to the field. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that
Wait.
report. Mr.
Question.
Yeah, oh, question. Yes.
Yeah. Angelique, do we prepare a report very similar to this for other BOCES or just other school districts?
So we will, so if there is, so this report, in addition to the bi-county report, which we will share next month, we do free of charge, just as a gratis, just as a support for the field. I know Newsday references these reports on a regular basis, and we will create a report just like this for an individual district at their request. So we do that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? No. Thank you, Angelique. Mr. Flynn?
Thank you. And kudos to Mrs. Johnson Dingle. Just to underscore one of her comments, we're the only BOCES in New York State that does these demographic studies for school districts throughout the entire state. And our team is not just local to Long Island. We typically do between 50 and 60 of these enrollment studies for school districts. The team travels. These assessments can take 2 to 3 months. And again, it's the only BOCES in the state that does it, and it's extremely useful information. Districts use it to predict and project what their enrollment is going to be moving into the future. It helps them make decisions relative to the need for facilities. So thank you again, and to your staff, Angelique, for the wonderful work they do on behalf of our school districts. We now have arrived at the point in our meeting where we'd like to introduce and recognize our 12 outstanding student honorees tonight. Joining me in this process is Nancy Kelsey, who in fact is the Executive Director for Career and Technical Education. And Mrs. Kelsey will be joined by Mrs. Nancy Wilson, our Director of Special Education. Just a few brief comments. The May Board of Education meeting historically has always been the favorite meeting for the Board of Education and for administration. Even though we can't hold our traditional celebration as we do in one of our schools, and we provide a reception for the students and their families, we think we've prepared a program tonight that sufficiently recognizes the wonderful achievements that have been demonstrated by each of these 12 students. I want to congratulate every one of our 12 honorees tonight for the best of what Western Suffolk BOCES have to offer, and beyond your academic achievements and your skill achievements. You've become leaders within your respective programs. You have a generosity of heart, and we congratulate not only our students, but also your mom and dad, your parents, your family. They've been your support system through your entire career with Western Suffolk BOCES. So now it's my pleasure to invite Mrs. Nancy Kelsey, our Executive Director of Career and Technical Education, to start off our program. Mrs. Kelsey?
Well, good evening, and thank you, Mr. Flynn, and best to our Board of Education and the families joining us this evening. I'm so happy to have the opportunity to spotlight some of the extraordinary students we have in the CTE division. Our first honoree is Majeni, who studies early childcare education at our Huntington campus, and she is a true leader. She is the Skills USA president and was inducted into the National Technical Honor Society as testament to her strong academic skills. Her kind and nurturing nature are admired by staff and students alike. She plans to study nursing at SUNY Farmingdale. Congratulations, Majeni. Next, we have Griselda, our outstanding student from the Dix Hills campus. After earning her nursing certification as a junior, Griselda enrolled in the Professional Health Careers program, where she continues to be a standout. Her teacher describes her work as impeccable, neatly submitted, and always ahead of the due date. She is deciding whether she will continue her education at college or in one of our adult health career programs of Western Suffolk BOCES. Congratulations, Griselda. The Northport campus outstanding student is Emily Vaughan. Emily is enrolled in the cosmetology program, a 90-plus student who was inducted into the National Technical Honor Society. She is as kind as she is conscientious, and her positive attitude extends to every situation. She has demonstrated that kindness throughout this closing by sewing masks for families and friends, and of course, practicing her cos skills on them as well. We wish her continued success as she pursues a career in cosmetology. Congratulations, Emily. This year's criminal justice program at our Republic campus was so exceptional that we are spotlighting two outstanding students. First is Gina LaMarca, who has repeatedly distinguished herself as a proven student leader and trusted mentor. In class, she has often offered one-to-one support to classmates during challenging lessons. Outside of class, she is president of the AM chapter of Skills USA and is active in the Suffolk Department's Explorers program. Her enthusiasm and interest in her studies are contagious, and she will undoubtedly excel in her future endeavors as she pursues a career in law enforcement. Congratulations, Gina.
Good.
Logan is a self-starter who is compassionate about criminal justice. He is a natural leader and has earned the respect of his peers and professionals in the field. This year, he was named lieutenant in the Suffolk Police Explorers program and organized a presentation about the program to his classmates. We have every expectation that Logan will be successful in his future and wish him the best in his criminal justice studies at Suffolk Community College this fall. Congratulations, Logan. And now it is my pleasure to introduce my colleague, Nancy Wilson, the Executive Director of Special Education. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mrs. Kelsey, and good evening, the Board of Education, all our outstanding Student Achievement Award recipients. This is a special time and such a highlight of our year to be able to celebrate the accomplishments of our students, their families, and certainly the contributions of the Board of Education to our team. I'd like to start this evening with our division honoree of Joseph Polk, who is actually our valedictorian at Manor Plains High School. Joe will be graduating this year with a Regents Diploma and a Microsoft Office Specialist Technical Certificate. Joseph is known to be able to troubleshoot just about any computer issue and is known for his positivity, kindness, and ready smile to all he comes across. Joe will be attending Suffolk Community College to continue his studies of computer game design, programming, and coding. His Manor Plains family will certainly miss him. Congratulations, Joe. Our next candidate is Braylon Holly. As her photo shows here, her smile lights up a room and is contagious. She has become an important part of the Brennan family and is known as an individual with such a kind spirit. She is hardworking, determined, and focused. Her commitment to her academics as well as her culinary classes are admired and respected. Braylon is a dedicated individual who's also earned her black belt in Taekwondo. She is headed to Suffolk Community College to study and pursue her passion within her field. We wish her the best and much joy in her future endeavors. Congratulations, Braylon. The next outstanding student we'd like to recognize is Tayshawn Edwards. Tayshawn is a true leader at our James E. Allen Junior Senior School. He's captain of the basketball team, and he shares all that he knows about the game with younger students as he serves as the coach. He always emphasizes good sportsmanship and all else positive qualities. The staff at the Hyatt Hotel describe him as respectful, dependable, and always willing to go above and beyond in the duties and tasks asked. Most importantly, Tyshawn has great compassion for others and a love of life that is outstanding. We know he will continue to achieve what he sets out to do. Congratulations, Tyshawn. Within our itinerant program, our outstanding student is Anthony Fiello. He's an individual who's a senior at Northport High School. He is very tech savvy and has skills in several operating systems that include languages and computer game design. He has harnessed assistive technology to the best advantage in his academic studies, which includes college credit-bearing courses in cybersecurity, computer programming, and forensic science. He is an exceptional student, and we are sure he will be successful at Hofstra University in the fall. We're so proud of you, and congratulations, Anthony. We're excited to acknowledge our next distinguished student, that's Jasmine Gilreath. Jasmine is an enthusiastic and proud member of the class of 2020. While at James Allen Alternative School, she has thrived. She's demonstrated a strong work ethic and care for her studies in both the alternative school as well as the cosmetology program at Wilson Tech Huntington. She has made meaningful connections with peers and staff. She is inspired by the love and support of her family, and she's looking forward to her future endeavors in the field of cosmetology. Best wishes to you, Jasmine. At last, but certainly not least, we highlight and celebrate John Devine, who's our outstanding student from Oldfield Middle School in the ALC program. John is a student who has excelled across his educational courses. He has demonstrated growth academically and socially. He is a positive school citizen who actively engages in school activities. As an enthusiastic member of the school community, he's taken part in the art and drama club activities. His hard work inspires and impresses his teachers and classmates. We're excited to see what John does in high school, and we wish him the best. Congratulations to John. And congratulations and best wishes to all of tonight's outstanding students. We're sure your future endeavors will be filled with much positive, beautiful adventures. Thank you.
Thank you for that wonderful presentation. On behalf of the board, I'd like to congratulate everyone, each and every one of you. We're very proud of you. And I know that I can speak for my fellow board members that we wish we could be there to give you a hug. But someday we will, soon. Stay healthy and stay well, please. Thank you. Okay, our next presentation, we don't have another one. Mr. Flynn,
The treasurer.
have a superintendent's report now. First, I would like to acknowledge the receipt of treasurer's report, a claim order report. And now I would like to have Mr. Flynn, you have a report for us?
I do, and thank you. I'm going to defer to our district superintendent, Mrs. Johnson Dingle. If you wouldn't mind making your report, please.
Sure. There are two items that I would like to discuss with the board this evening. The first has to do with FEMA funding. Just last week, the New York State Education Department did release guidance in a memo to advise districts on the steps that they can take in order to be able to receive reimbursement from FEMA for materials and items and expenses that have been utilized in order to help combat the COVID-19 outbreak. This memo has been shared, and we are advising districts to please move forward in the process quickly, so that way they have the most, they are able to hopefully capitalize off of this opportunity to help receive reimbursement for some of the funds that none of us truly expected to have to expend this year. So that's the first thing I wanted to discuss. And the last thing that I did want to point out is that at the most recent Board of Regents meeting, the New York State Education Department did pass some regulations that would allow districts, in conjunction with the federal government, to be able to carry over most of their title funding in addition to some of the state-funded programs. Typically, anything that comes in form of title funding or grant funding traditionally ends at the end of the school year, which is June 30th. However, provisions have been put into place that will allow districts to carry that money over into the following school year, which is our 2021 school year, that will allow districts to hopefully capitalize off of that funding. It is extremely important, given the economic climate that we're currently facing, that districts be allowed to carry forward that grant funding. We have notified all of the districts, and we're here to support them should they have any concerns or any questions. And last but not least, I would just like to say congratulations to all of our students who were honored here this evening. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Mr. Flynn, you know, I want to go back to the beginning. I'm sorry, I'm Gina Santos, Vice President of the board. Our president had a personal emergency, so he wasn't able to be with us. So I'm sorry that I didn't do this at the beginning, but better late than never. Mr. Flynn, are you there? Would you you have anything, or should I just go straight to our Chief Operating Officer? I mean, to our Finance Officer.
I have a couple of brief comments
Okay.
just to advise the board about. First, it's my distinct pleasure to share with our viewing public that our component school districts passed our Western Suffolk BOCES administrative budget on April 28th. We really are appreciative and thankful for our component districts. We work hard to develop a collaborative working relationship with our local boards of education, with the superintendents and their staff. And we're very thankful for the support that our component districts have demonstrated in supporting their BOCES budget. Also, equally as important, it's a pleasure to announce that Mrs. Santos, who's chairing our board meeting tonight, was reelected to the Western Suffolk Board of Education. This is, you'll be going into your 27th year as a trustee, Mrs. Santos, for Western Suffolk BOCES.
27 at BOCES and 40 in Amityville.
Oh,
Come
that's
Crazy. I'm glad for punishment. What else is new?
yeah, well, thank you for serving on behalf of children, both in your local community, as well as Western Suffolk BOCES. As well, Mr. Peter Wunsch from Comac was also reelected. Both of these trustees were elected unanimously, 18-0. And Mr. Wunsch is now going to be going into his 18th year of service with Western Suffolk BOCES. Again, Peter, did you have any comments you'd like to make?
I just like to congratulate Jeanette, and I'll, you haven't mentioned Jim yet, so I'll wait until you finish.
Okay. Also, we have a newcomer to the Western Suffolk BOCES board. It's my pleasure to share Mr. Jim Caden from the South Huntington School District, who I saw him joining us earlier this evening. Was elected again 18-0 by the component school districts. Mr. Caden comes with an extensive resume of experience and expertise. He has served as a trustee on the South Huntington School District Board of Education for 24 years, and 20 out of those 24 years, he was the president of the Board of Education. I know Mr. Caden also has served as the past president of the Nassau Suffolk School Board's Executive Board. So we look forward to having Jim join us. Jim, are you with us? Would you like to say a few words?
I am. And yeah, I look forward to working with all of you. It's an interesting way to do a board meeting. I can't say I've ever done this before, but getting to be the norm with work also. So thank you. And I look forward to working with you.
Welcome.
Welcome, and I look forward to working with you, Jim.
Yep.
Just some other brief comments. Everyone, I'm sure, is aware the governor announced that the normal component school district budget and election date is moved back to June 9th. Of particular significance is that all of the voting will be done by absentee ballot. And all I can say is that our component superintendents and boards are very, very busy ramping up for that. It's a very involved process, identifying your registered voters, having your material printed up in a timely way, having it translated in a timely way, getting out all the ballots in the mail, and they've done a remarkable job in that effort going forward. Also of importance is this Friday, May 15th, the governor has indicated previously that he's going to announce whether or not there's going to be a reduction in state aid to municipalities, including school districts. Obviously, everyone's aware of the fact that New York State has amassed a $9.3 billion deficit due to the current pandemic and increasing. And as a result of that, unless there is federal aid forthcoming, New York State will have to make significant cuts in state aid. I know this past Friday, every Friday morning, we have a meeting with the superintendents. I invited in Mr. Tom Swazi, congressman from Long Island. He is leading the Long Island delegation to advocate for federal aid, not only to New York, but to the other states that have been largely impacted by this pandemic. And he's trying to introduce legislation to identify $40 billion to provide federal aid to states based on the rate of infection. So we thank Congressman Swazi and all the other members of the Long Island Congressional Delegation. It's a bipartisan effort to support our state and to support children. We thank them for their efforts. And then the last note is New York State last week had donated 600 gallons of hand sanitizer to our public school districts. New York State is making this available free to municipalities around the state. And upon receipt of these hand sanitizer containers, we've been in the process of sharing this with our component districts, who were extremely grateful to the state for receiving this free hand sanitizing agent. Couldn't come at a better time. So, Mrs. Santos, that concludes my remarks, and thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Warren, I think you're on.
Good evening. Good to be with you again, even though I'm not really with you. You have the report of the capital projects, the status of those projects. Obviously, as you probably know, most construction work has been shut down. We can't really get much done. The only things we have to do are some of the asbestos projects. The asbestos project, because it falls under the heading of health and safety issues. Beyond that, we're still waiting for the governor to approve opening up construction in this area. In addition, both our architectural firm, H2M, and the State Education Department Office of Facilities Planning are basically working from home. That's slowed down what's already a somewhat slow process. So we're working through submitting the necessary plans and specifications and answering the questions and so forth. But this has slowed down our ability to get work done. Yeah. The other thing you have tonight is, as in the past, I've shared with you the update of the 5-year capital projects plan that shows the project that we have on the table, the amount of money we've funded those projects for in the past, the amount of the projects we're funding in the current year, and the projects we're funding in the out years. Obviously, there's a lot of work that needs to be done. So we're working on this as best we can. And this plan is updated each year as we go, both in terms of the priorities we have for the projects as well as the pricing of those projects. One other mention, you also have a resolution in the action items to approve the capital project plans and some transfers in the capital projects for the new and upcoming year. If there are any questions, I'll answer them. If not, have a good evening.
Yes, is there any questions? Eileen?
How much asbestos do we have left in the district?
Very little. We have, I believe, 2 small areas to do. As you know, we can only do these jobs during school breaks. So we're pretty much to the end of it now, many millions of dollars later.
Yeah. Thank you. Anyone else? Thank you, Warren.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right, now I would like to entertain some agenda items, 911 to 915.5.
So moved.
May I have a motion?
Second.
Who made the motion? Eileen, and second by Peter. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 2, 3, 4. Okay, motion carried. Personnel. I'll entertain a motion to go and to have approval of personnel 92.1, 92.2, and 92.3. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Okay, in 4, I'm sorry. 924, 5, 6, and 7.
Still moved.
Move.
A second.
Any questions on those motions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, now we're going to 9.3. 9.31 to 6. May I have a motion?
Move.
Second.
Move the motion by Peter and Eileen.
No, it's Brian.
Was it Brian? I'm sorry. I wasn't looking. I was looking at my agenda. Any questions on the motions? No? All in favor?
Aye.
So move. Now, is there any old business? Any new business?
No.
No? Okay. Does anybody have anything to say before we adjourn? No, I would like to say something. First, I would like to make sure, please, everybody, be careful, stay home if you can. I have to stay home because my family won't let me out. But if you can, if you don't have to go out, please don't go out. And if you go out, make sure you wear your mask. If you need mask, I'll be making masks because I'm home and I make a mask for everybody in my neighborhood and my kids and everything. So if you need any mask, let me know. Okay? You guys have a great day and I will see you next month. It would be nice if we could meet in person, but if not, we'll be Zoom in. Okay? Everybody have a wonderful.
No, we need a motion to adjourn.
Oh, that's true. Thank you, Peter.
I'll make the motion.
You're my vice now. Motion
Second.
by Peter, second.
Second.
Motion and second. Okay. No one has to say anything else. Everybody have a good night. So adjourn. We have adjourned at 7:32.
Wow.
Thank you, everybody.
Okay. Thank you.
Well,
Bye. Love you guys.
Everybody.
Love you guys.
Bye,
Take care of
thank
yourselves.
you.
Everybody take care of themselves, please.